Now, there is no doubt about it that ever since the assassination of Charlie Kirk, we have seen a number of celebrities, those associated with show business, those in the media even, saying some of the most downright offensive things, awful lies about Charlie Kirk, and even his loved ones out there, including his wife Erica Kirk, saying terrible things about her as well. And it just goes to show you the character of a lot of people out there, right? And one of those has a lot to do with Jimmy Kimmel. Now, we know that Jimmy Kimmel, ever since he actually displayed that Charlie Kirk comment on air, after, by the way, producers informed him to stick with the script, to follow instructions, to not bring up anything related to Charlie Kirk in any of a jokey way or anything like that, and he decided to actually do just that. And that really created a lot of backlash, both internally over at ABC, Disney, and in the public eye. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, we know that Jimmy Kimmel is under a lot of pressure right now, not just from the public and those in the media in different areas, but we also know that Nexstar, Sinclair, ABC/Disney, and even Disney CEO Bob Iger is giving him a lot of pressure. Now, we know that Jimmy Kimmel has a very big ego. He's a very egotistical guy, and he is still refusing to this day to make a public apology about Charlie Kirk's comments that he actually put on air and everything else in between. Now, let's get into the actual details about this. Now, we know that Charlie Kirk's situation is indeed, like I actually said before moments ago, it's creating a lot of moments by celebrities where they're really revealing their true colors, and it really just goes to show you how a lot of people are beginning to realize exactly what some of these celebrities are really all about, right? Now, focusing on Jimmy Kimmel here, however, get this, with the assassination of Charlie Kirk unfortunately causing many celebrities and those in show business to say such terrible things about him, and those who support him, one of those involved Jimmy Kimmel, who decided to go off script and on air to make a mockery of the Charlie Kirk situation and his supporters. However, recently, after Kimmel was cancelled from his show and fired from Toy Story 5 by Disney, already decided to make matters worse, as it turns out that Jimmy Kimmel took part in a recent emergency meeting/call that was held between the Walt Disney Company, ABC executives, and those associated with Nexstar and Sinclair. This remote meeting that took place involved Kimmel, where he went on multiple tirades and outright outbursts toward Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, where he claimed that the cancellation of his show was an attack not just on comedy, but also on himself as a comedian, and that Kimmel demanded to double down on not just jokes toward Trump, but also how he wanted to make future jokes about Charlie Kirk's supporters, regardless of the backlash that he started, and showing little to no remorse over how he offended millions of people across the entire nation. Now, the emergency meeting was best described as a complete disaster, where Kimmel was asked by Sinclair to donate to Turning Point, where Kimmel replied that he refused to actually make a donation to right-wingers, quote-unquote. This remark reportedly created outrage from members of Sinclair, who actually refused to bring Kimmel back on the air unless he makes a donation of any kind and apologizes on air. They reportedly don't care how much the contribution is, they just want a donation, period, the end, for PR purposes. Now, Kimmel was reportedly not only asked 3 times total during the meeting by Sinclair when it was brought up, but also Nexstar is now reportedly asking and making suggestions to Jimmy Kimmel to not only make an apology, but to also provide a donation and to also bring on Erica Kirk in the near future on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show if and when it does come back. Jimmy reportedly had a moment of outrage when they suggested to bring Erica Kirk on the show to promote Turning Point and Charlie Kirk's legacy, and Kimmel absolutely refused to take any part in it, even though it was just a suggestion coming from Nexstar. Now, Kimmel reportedly informed Nexstar he wants no association with Erica Kirk due to her political beliefs. This emergency call/meeting concluded at a point where Disney CEO Bob Iger stepped in, where he pressured Kimmel to make the apology on video, and that Disney investors wanted to be a very detailed and long, honest apology. Kimmel informed Disney that he would only allow himself to make an actual public apology if and only if the Trump jokes can remain on his show, if and only if the show comes back for the future, since that is, of course, his passion for the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. Now, guys, let me just say one thing about this. Now, this just goes to show you how egotistical and narcissistic Jimmy Kimmel truly is. The fact that he got so bent out of shape when Nexstar brought up that suggestion to allow Erica Kirk to come on a show in the future, this could have been 3 months from now, 4 months from now, maybe even a couple of weeks from now, who knows. But it was all a purpose to promote Turning Point and to honor Charlie Kirk's legacy and to bring that on Jimmy Kimmel's show, basically. And even then, he shot that down. He didn't want to do that. He did not want to associate himself with Erica Kirk. That just goes to show you how egotistical and out of whack he truly is. And this really caused a lot of, issues between himself, the members of Nexstar, Sinclair, and how it even offended many members associated with the Walt Disney Company. We're talking about executives, we're talking about board of directors over there. This really is a very intense situation going on right now. What's even more revealing, though, is exactly what's happening with one of the ABC studios here. Now, we'll get into that in just a second. Things took a different turn where producers were informed by Disney ABC executives to ship out certain props and lighting equipment out of the studio all of a sudden, which may or may not signal that this is a permanent cancellation at this point, or setting up for a temporary news show for the time being. That remains unclear. So, I don't know about you guys, but one thing about this is that we know that Jimmy Kimmel is really just trying to get through this whole thing. It's like prying teeth out of his mouth right now. He wants nothing to do with honoring Charlie Kirk. He wants nothing to do with making a public apology about his Charlie Kirk comments. He absolutely wants nothing to do with making an apology toward Trump supporters, Charlie Kirk supporters, after what he said on air. And mind you, this really has to, really be put out there, but I think Disney and ABC are to blame as well. And Mel Gibson made a very interesting point earlier on. These shows, and this has been known for a very long time, but for those of you that do not know, these shows, these late night shows, they're filmed hours before they even go on air. If ABC really wanted to, they could have cut the segment out. They could have chopped it out of there if they wanted to, but they didn't. They kept it on the air, they kept it on the actual episode, and it backfired on them. So I do blame Bob Iger, I do blame the ABC executives and producers for going through with it. It's also for them, to be blamed upon. We know that they actually are to blame as well. We know one thing about Jimmy Kimmel, though, is that he is refusing to actually contribute to Turning Point. He's refusing to apologize to Charlie Kirk's family and friends and to his supporters, and it just goes to show you exactly how far he's willing to go to just not settle at all. He doesn't want to actually apologize, period, in the end, and I think he will eventually make an apology if and when it really becomes registered in his mind that his show is just not coming back unless he actually does do something around those lines. But it's really interesting to see all these different events taking place at once. But overall, I would like to hear what you all have to say about this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.